What's up, everybody? JshepTX here, coming at you with another reaction video. Today we're doing another song by Rittz. This is the last request from Deaven for a song, Nowhere to Run. So we recommended 3 different ones. This is the 3rd of that series. I've actually heard this song before. This was the first tape that I heard of Rittz years and years ago. One of my favorites, but I did want to break it down. I have the lyric video here. It's called Nowhere to Run. This is off the White Jesus mixtape. This is that first mixtape that I ever heard him on. And this really differentiated him, in my mind, from other people because he was so explicit in terms of where his mind was. I believe the authenticity behind it. His cadence is crazy. And the stuff that he's talking about, this is probably one of the darker songs that I've heard from him, like ever, even still to this date. But one of my favorites, and I'm excited to give this a go. So let's go ahead and get it. Rittz, Nowhere to Run. I love the production on this too. I wish him and Burn One would get back together and do something, because they were clicking, they were firing on all cylinders. Yeah, I like how he does that.
I wanna run away, 'cause I know there's gotta be a better place. Sometimes I really wanna run away, but the more I try, the more I can't escape. 'Cause there ain't nowhere to run. Instead I'm drunk, praying to the Lord, saying here I come. Dear Lord, sitting on my bed with a loaded gun, pointed at my head, and then my girlfriend's put the gun away.
I just need your help.
I told her, love, just save the day. Let's pack our stuff and run away. Man, I hate my life, my job. I feel like my day.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it and back it up here for a second. So that's the chorus. That's how deep it is. So he wants to run away to a better place, but he can't escape. So he feels like the only alternative is killing himself. That's what he's saying here. This is a suicidal song. And then he describes, well, we'll see, but his cadence behind it, the beat is just perfect for it. It's got those dark tones, like the way the guitar sounds, and just his voice over it. I mean, it's sonically, it's amazing. But what he's saying, like, it's interesting that I come back to the song a lot. Only from the perspective is, like, I can understand, like, his pain after listening to it.
Just save the day, let's pack our stuff and run away.
Man, I hate my life, my job. I feel like my days is all but working 9 to 5 or give a 5 to 11. Living in my front door, looking tired and sweating. Last thing I feel like doing is going to write in the wreck of my.
So he hates his life, his job. He feels like his days is awful. He hates going to work. He comes in from work tired, and the last thing he wants to do is go and make music, which is clearly what he's best at. So it's interesting.
Fuck aside, it's so wet. My girl gotta go to bed. These opposite schedules getting harder to manage. Working in the kitchen with a bunch of Mexicans, and I swear these motherfuckers talk about me in Spanish.
Interesting. So, right, like, he works 9 to 5, she works 5 to 11, so they're working opposite. So really the only time they see each other is like that intermediate, right? Like when they see each other, he's coming home, she's leaving, kind of thing. You know, and his socks are soaking wet, his girl's got to go to bed. These opposite schedules getting harder to manage.
It's getting harder to manage. Working in the kitchen with a bunch of Mexicans, and I swear these motherfuckers talk about me in Spanish. My only plan was to make it rapid. After so long, we start thinking if the shit was meant to be, it happened. If it wasn't for my homie Yellow Book believing in me, I'd probably still be feeling like my dream.
That's interesting. So he works in a place where they speak a different language than him, and he feels like they're talking about him. That's not, like, important to the song. It's just saying where he's at, right? Like, he's working in a place where he can't really talk to anybody, get some of the stress out, right? And he has no idea what they're saying. They could be talking about him. And his only plan, right, like, he put all his stock in, hey, I'm going to be a rapper, but it's been so long, you think it happened. Like, you would have thought it would have happened already because he's put in that work, right? Like, he's put in that grind, but it hadn't popped. And he's saying if it wasn't for his homie Yellow Wolf believing in him, probably still feeling like his dream was shattered. Matter of fact, the first time I ever heard Rittz was on a Yellow Wolf mixtape, and maybe I'll do that song next. Box Chevy 2, I think is what it's called. And I was like, who is this guy? Like, he was double timing. I mean, he came correct in that song. He came really, really hard. But yeah, he's at that point, like, he's at his wit's end. He's like, hey, I've dedicated my life to this craft, and I'm working in a kitchen where the people I work with don't even speak the same language as me. Or if they do speak the same language as me, they don't speak it around me. They're talking to me in Spanish. What the hell am I supposed to think? My girl works at night. I work during the day. Like, he's just at the... Nowhere to Run is the perfect title of the song, and he's painting this picture perfectly.
And if the shit was meant to be, it happened. If it wasn't for my homie Yellow Wolf believing in me, I'd probably still be feeling like my dream was shattered. Cause my team is scattered, but now I got a second chance, and it's time to get the fire back.
Woo!
At a young age, I done developed so many bad habits. I feel like I'ma have to snort a line to even try to write a rap. On top of that, I can't afford the power bill. Rapping ain't paying, making 9.
So, because my team is scattered, so, like, you know, all his people that he came up with, they're all wherever they're at, right? Like, I think he talks about it in other songs. You know, someone went to jail, someone, you know, passed away, what have you. And then, but hey, Yellow Wolf gave me this second chance, so now I got to figure out, like, how to get that fire from when I first started, right? Like, I got beat down so bad. How do I reinvent myself? How do I reignite that flame? How do I get back into this? You know what I mean? And he's developed so many bad habits. He feels like he has to snort a line to even try to write a rap. I know in an interview later he said, hey, you know, I'll do a line of meth or whatever, and then boom, it gets me to it, or Adderall or whatever it happens to be. On top of that, he can't afford to pay the power bill. Rapping ain't paying, still making $9 an hour. So he's just not making enough money to cover the bills, like, is what he's saying at this point.
Dollars an hour still can't afford to have a kid, can't afford to put my girl on a pill. Plus I hate the way I kinda feel. How'd your family feel about your music back when I was young? They said that it was dumb and never gave a shit. I be smiling now when they tell me they proud, but then they climb and turn around and say some racist shit.
Can't afford to have a kid, can't afford to put my girl on the pill, plus I hate the way a condom feel. So he's like, he can't afford to have a kid because he's making $9 an hour. He can't, because he makes $9 an hour, he can't put his girl on the pill, but he can't get even any enjoyment out of their relations, right? Because he has to wear, like, a prophylactic because he can't afford the pill. How does your family feel about your music, about your numbers? They all said it was dumb. They never cared about it. And he's talked about that in other songs. He's smiling now when they tell him he's proud, but then the climate turns around and they say some racist stuff. And he talked about that too. I think it was White Rapper, just, you know, they all said he was trying to act black, he was trying to do this, he was trying to do that, and they would say racist stuff around him, and he just didn't know how to feel, right?
Can't afford to put my girl on a pill, plus I hate the way I kinda feel. How'd your family feel about your music back when I was young? They said that it was dumb and never gave a shit. I be smiling now when they tell me they proud, but then they climb and turn around and say some racist shit. So I'm straining my relationship. Told my girl I need her and never leave her if I made it big. One day I wanna marry you and raise a kid. Gone all night long, but I ain't chasing chicks.
So it's straining his relationship, like this grind, right? Like, because he's working all day, and then, like, his normal job to pay the bills, the $9 an hour job, right? But outside of that, like, he's pursuing his dreams, so it's just constant work. And he's like, hey, look, I need you, and if I ever make it big, I'm not going to leave you for somebody else, right? Like, you've been down with me since day one. I'm bringing you up with me. I'm going to marry you and raise a kid. Gone all night long, but I ain't chasing chicks. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's on his grind.
I'm trying to write, but always feeling like I can't commit. Can't come with the shit I wanna say and vent. Instead, I'm steadily drowning in my wasting it. Sometimes I wish I could escape from this. I wanna run away.
Sometimes the way he, like, put all this together, it makes so much sense, but he's, like, bringing me into his world. Like, I could sit there and imagine going through this, right? Like, he's trying to write his raps, but he's feeling like he can't commit to it. Like, you sit there and you get writer's block because you're so tired from the day. He can't come with the stuff he wants to say and vent. Instead, he's drowning. Is he wasting it? Right? Like, I'm assuming he's talking about drinking here. Sometimes he wishes he could escape from this, like, this whole struggle. Like, I just don't want to deal with life at all. Like, this is too much.
Instead, I'm steadily drowning in my wasting it. Sometimes I wish I could escape from this. I wanna run away.
I know there's gotta be a better place. Sometimes I really wanna run away. But the more I try, the more I can't escape. Cause Cause there ain't nowhere to run. Instead I'm drunk, praying to the Lord, saying here I come. Sitting on my bed with a loaded gun, pointed at my head, and then my girlfriend screamed, put the gun away.
I love this song, man. It's so sad, dark, depressing, but he does it so well.
I told her love just saved the day. Let's pack our stuff and run away.
I just missed another show cause I gotta work. If I try to request any more days off, then my boss gon' fire me. He said he's tired of me trying him. I wanna tell him to go fuck himself, but I know ain't nobody hiring. Besides, I'm 29, my future's on the line, and my girl from a line.
I just missed another show. So because of he missed another show because he's got to work and he can't take any more days off. Like, he's burned through them. His boss is going to get rid of him. He said he's tired. The boss is saying, hey, quit trying me, dude. Like, do it again and see what happens. But he can't really say anything because at this point, nobody's hiring. He's 29 at this point, Rittz is, and his future's on the line. Like, this is it. This is that critical junction, right? Like, this is make or break. And his girlfriend is relying on him. So he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, hey, I'm not going to blow up. I'm not going to make it bigger if I don't do these shows. But hey, you're not, I can't do these shows because I'm stuck at this job that I hate. And I can't tell you to go F off because I'm trying to pursue my dream because my girlfriend relies on me. I got bills to pay. And right now, rap ain't making that money. It's going to get to that point, but I got to push through.
Wanna tell him to go fuck himself, but I know ain't nobody hiring. Besides, I'm 29, my future's on the line, and my girl from a line me to try to iron these problems we created down entirely. A year ago this time, we was in a bind and a die. Need to find a place to live, cause we about to lose a crib. Had to get a job, that's exactly what I did. Offer me a setting that this rapper shit is dead. Last Christmas, we ain't had to catch to get a gift.
To try to iron these problems we created down entirely. A year ago this time, he was in a bind and a dire need to find a place to live. We was about to lose the crib, had to get a job. That's exactly what he did. All for me is set, and now this rapper crap is dead. So it sounds to me like what he's saying here is like, hey, it came to that crescendo, right? Like, it came to that point where, hey, I can't, I mean, it's not going to happen. Like, I felt like rap was going to happen. It's not. We're about to lose our house. I have to get a job. I have to go and do this. I have to give up. And I feel like a lot of people get to that point, right? Like, they pursue it in such a way, either they aren't, I don't know if it's pure talent. I think it's more drive. And then as you learn more about Rittz, you realize, like, hey, he was doing drugs. And yeah, that definitely influences your artistic ability, and that might have formed who we have today. But it also held him back from a long time. And I feel like a lot of people are in that same position. They do things where they're 2 steps forward and a step back, or 2 steps back or 3 steps back because of some of the choices they make in their life. So it gets to a point where it's like, okay, do I continue to pursue my job or pursue my dream, whatever it happens to be? In this case, it's him rapping. Or do I give up and just do what everybody else does, the normal 9 to 5?
But we tell them, man, I'm sick of the struggle doing drugs. Made it easy to accept, then instead of getting used to having nada. My doctor said I got a bleeding ulcer in my tummy, but I still could take it to shoot. Right gut liquor in my stomach, trying to numb it. Can't afford ground, so I'm sipping on my comments. Trying to write a rap, but I can't think of.
So I'm sick of the struggle doing drugs, made it easy to accept that I settled getting used to. See, exactly. He starts doing more drugs. He starts getting more into that because he's so upset that what he feels like he deserves, like what he's been working for this entire time, he hasn't gotten yet. And he's got a ulcer, right? Like an ulcer in his stomach, but he continues to shoot that rot gut liquor. He wants to drink Crown, but he can't, so he sips on McCormick, which is cheap, like comes in a plastic bottle liquor, trying to write a rap, but I can't think of a chorus.
Liquor in my stomach, trying to numb it. Can't afford ground, so I'm sipping on my comments. Trying to write a rap, but I can't think of a chorus. I better source some meth, I think I'm better metaphors. And Wolf said, record is X chicken for us, so you better step it up there, expecting no performance. Snap back in the music industry, I'm missing lead, sick of kissing ass, man, I question my endurance, so I pour another shot, trying to calm me.
I bet I snort some meth, I think some men are menopausal. And Wolf said, he's talking about Yellow Wolf, said record execs checking for him. So, hey, these record executives are actually looking at what you're doing, so you need to step it up. They're watching your performance. They're watching your shows. You got to snap back into it, man. You got to get out of this funk, right? Like, and come back at it. But hey, I don't want to kiss butt. I don't know that I can do this forever. So I pour another shot trying to calm me some. So he's taking another. He just keeps going back to the alcohol. He keeps going back to that because he doesn't know how to deal with this.
Song. Alcohol really ain't resolving none. Still pissed off, thinking everyone is done. Cause I don't give a fuck what team LeBron is on. Whoever follows on Twitter, the comments on my Facebook wall telling y'all what all I've done. I'm a ray of sunshine, yeah, ball of form. One day you look up and I'll be gone.
Alcohol really can't solve it, but I'm still pissed off because everybody's dumb. How do they not recognize my skill? Because they're all wasting their time on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, talking about LeBron, talking about whatever it is, like things to him that aren't important. They should be talking about me and my ability to rap, but people just don't recognize it.
I'm telling y'all what all I've done. I'm a ray of sunshine, yeah, ball of form. One day you look up and I'll be gone. I wanna run away.
Cause I know there's gotta be a better place. Sometimes I really wanna run away. But the more I try, the more I can't escape. Cause there ain't nowhere to run. Instead I'm drunk, praying to the Lord, singing here I come. Sitting on my bed with a loaded gun, pointed at my head, and then my girlfriend screamed, put the gun away. I told her, love, just say the day, let's pack our stuff and run away from all this bullshit.
He does that a lot, like a lot of riffs at the end of his songs, and then it ends with the riff. I'm gonna stop it because I don't want to get copyright stricken, but I'm beyond impressed with this song. Like I said, it's one of my favorites from Rittz, and I appreciate the suggestion, Deaven, because I do appreciate one, the cadence, the production behind it, but the lyrics, they're just so real. They're just so real, and you really get perspective of what it's like to be a rap artist or any type of artist, really, before your work is appreciated, right? Like, it feels like you just want to run away. You just want to run away. You want to run away from your problems, and he did that for a long time. But hey, he's doing it. In my opinion, he's doing it big. I wish he was bigger, and I wish people recognized that skill and recognized how just great of a rapper Rittz really is. So if you like what you heard, go ahead and like and subscribe. If you haven't already, go ahead and comment down below what you want to hear next. JshepTX out.